How's it going, everyone? Another unboxing of Pokemon Scale World, this time of the Scale World Galar region, Bea and Hitmontop. So Bea is from Pokemon Sword and Shield Galar region. So following on from the Alistair one that I did just a few days ago. So this is a web exclusive again. So it comes in a brown shipper box with just some plain text on the front. And then otherwise it's pretty plain on all other sides. So let's get straight into the packaging. As Alistair before, similar sort of packaging, mostly white in theme with a little bit of color to kind of prop it up a little bit and kind of lends to the color trims on the characters themselves. So in this case, orange for Bea because she has a little bit orange on her outfit, whereas Alistair had purple. Photo of the character, the gym leader, and then Hitmontop as well. Otherwise, it's kind of the same what we've seen before. The top is just more pictures of those two guys. It's a small package, by the way, just because it's only those two characters. I guess they could add Mimikyu for Alistair because it was tiny. But otherwise, only one Pokemon this time. On the side, you've just got an image of some of the Scale World Galar region set that has mostly come out. A couple of them haven't, so Dragapult, you can see, hasn't come out. But then you've got Corviknight as well, which I still don't have, which is a shame. I'm probably going to have to order that elsewhere because Nippon Yasan failed me. You got some more pictures on the reverse side of other regions. So the Johto region here, Kanto region here. I've covered some of these before, and I covered Rillaboom in the Galar region. I'm not going to cover every single one. I'm mostly just going after the web exclusive Scale World stuff at this point in time. At the bottom, we've got a few of the characters and trainers, gym leaders that have come out or are coming out. So I've covered all of these. Bea is what we're covering right now. These two I'm going to get soon. I think they're due probably in the next few weeks or about a month or so. So these are the next ones anyway coming out. Leon I'm very keen to get hands on with. So he's up after these guys, and Leon comes with Dragapult. So that's why I'm interested in that one. On the side, just some text. On the bottom, also some text. Remember, it's a candy toy, so they'll tell you some ingredient stuff on one of those pieces. First up with the candy, so it's the same thing as what Alistair and the other Scale World figures come with, so I'll put that to the side. And then we'll quickly go into the Bea figure, which I've just dropped. So you saw that she was standing on her own. I do think is a little bit of a balance issue with this, just because she has one foot raised, you can see there, and the other one may not sit flat depending on your own setup and display. So it's best to use the stand that they give you. So it's the same sort of stand that accompanies the other kind of human characters. It's not the exact same thing, but the idea is the same, where you put the feet in like so. Now hopefully this shouldn't break. So with Alistair, if you saw that video before, Alistair's foot broke because there was a joint that kind of connected his leg to his shoe, and that was unfortunate. With Bea, there isn't that problem. There's just one continuous kind of scope, so it should hopefully never break on you unless you're kind of like super reckless. But it seems fine, so you just put that in like so, and then she stands perfectly fine. I do think it's better to use the stand just for safety for her case. So let's take the stand off for now so we can have a closer look at the figure. So Bea's figure sculpt is pretty good. It's kind of what you expect now. It's still, to me, a glorified Gashapon set. It's still a bit expensive at the end of the day, but the sculpt is not bad. The paint's mostly pretty good. There's a bit of kind of sloppiness, I might say, especially here at that little tied up knot at the front. So if you can see here, you see the knot, and then just behind that you see a splodge of paint which covers the kind of text or decals on her actual jersey as well, which is slightly disappointing because from a distance then it just kind of looks like a mistake, a big blob, all because of that kind of like paint bleed, which is a shame. But otherwise the paint isn't too bad. It's just really, that's just that one little spot. It's otherwise on par with Alistair that was done last time. And you can see the details as well, so the 193 and then all the other kind of orange details and stuff going around. Just like with Alistair, you can sometimes see a little bit of like the seams, for example, at the back of her knee pads. They're minor stuff, to be honest. You can see the seams here on her legs, really minor, expected at this point. I do like the way the sculpt of the hair is done. That's pretty good. Underside is a little bit, up to you. You're not going to see it, but otherwise I'm actually okay with the hair sculpt. Her face looks pretty good, generally speaking. You can move her head a little bit if you want to. If it's out of the box a little bit off, then just kind of twist it a little bit. It may not be that easy for you. It's really not ideal to do that. You don't want to damage anything, but for me, I can do that a little bit and it's okay. The bow on her head is pretty good as well. That's quite cool. And then yes, the Ultra Ball in her hand, and then the gloved hand. You can see the Dynamax band as well. Pretty good otherwise. So speaking about Hitmontop, it's a very simple design Pokemon, really, in my opinion. Very rounded Pokemon, so round face, round body, hands around, feet are rounded too, minus the claws, and then even the tip of its head is, rounded, right? It's not a sharp point. It's a very simple Pokemon, to be quite honest. Even in color design, it's quite simple as well. I think that simplicity makes this a lot easier to kind of create into a 3D form, into a 3D figure like this. So there aren't really anything to really talk about in terms of or exciting parts for it or any bad points either. You know, like sometimes there's really bad seams and joints and stuff, but this is actually fine. It does the job quite well. The tail, by the way, is stuck inside the main body. It doesn't extend. So if you wanted an extended tail, you don't get that, sadly. You get this little base thing here. To be honest, I don't really know how it works. So in terms of balance, he's okay. He might wobble or tip backwards. I find he wobbles a bit more for me, less tipping, but it could happen. And I guess if you wanted to add some stability, you can add him the base like that and just have him rest, and it gives that extra stability. But I think the main purpose actually of this is to have him upside down and then sitting like so. So he might not stand because he's not on a flat surface. Let's put him down. So there we go. Having him like so. Here's a closer look at that base. You can see it's not the most rounded or cleaned off bit on the sides. So yeah, I just couldn't really figure that out. So I'm assuming it's just going to be to have him upside down, which is a cool way to have him, you know, displayed as well, because most of these Pokemon in the Scale World set are all using neutral poses, and this kind of changes that up just a little bit for people that want something a bit more, you know, dynamic looking. So Hitmontop, of course, is one of Bea's Pokemon, so this is why they've included it. Personally speaking, you know, I'm not a huge fan of Hitmontop as a Pokemon. It's fine. I like the evolution and the kind of inspiration of Capoeira. But in terms of what Bea uses as Pokemon, she has Surfetched as one of them, and even Machop too. But when I look at the box again, I realize actually Surfetched did come out already, but it wasn't a web exclusive. So as I've said before, I'm focusing more on the web exclusive versions of these figure sets. So some of these I just haven't got. So I believe Surfetched, even Toxtricity as well, aren't web exclusive, the general release. So I should still be able to get them. But that's just my opinion on it. I think also by having Surfetched here, this makes it even more desirable as a set. Whereas Hitmontop, if this was a solo figure, maybe less people would be interested because it's not the most exciting or coolest Pokemon, if you will, right? So maybe that's the reason why they added Hitmontop as well. There's probably other reasons to it in terms of balancing which Pokemon go with which character and not having doubles of Pokemon and things like that. But it's okay. I'm just kind of theorizing in my head and just personal preference as well for this particular set. Otherwise, though, it's pretty much what you come to expect in terms of the design and the way it's kind of made and things like that. Here I've got Charizard and a Snorlax like I did with Alistair. I do have more, obviously, but I just don't want to bring all the figures out. It's just a lot of kind of hassle to deal with at this point. So just these two, plus Mimikyu, because this was more recent, with Cursola on the side here. So this is just to kind of give you an idea of scale. And then the broken Alistair. Check out the video for this one to see more on the broken leg. So this kind of just gives you a sense of scaling with the other kind of Pokemon. Sadly, not Venusaur, because that's a much bigger Pokemon. It wouldn't even fit at this point without moving everything. But yeah, hopefully it gives you an indication of size and such. You know, for example, Alistair is a bit shorter than Bea, but he is slouching as well. So it kind of gives you an example of things. All in all, it's another consistent release of the Pokemon Scale World figures. If you're a big fan and really kind of lean towards gym leaders and the human characters, this one might be right up your alley. I think there's a lot of Bea fans out there. For me, Hitmontop is not the most favorite Pokemon of mine. I would really, really love to see them do Luxray because it's one of my favorite Pokemon. But in the meantime, we've got Dragapult coming out with Leon, so that should be quite interesting. That's coming out in the next couple of months as well, which I will do a hands-on with. In the meantime, though, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one.